If you support environmental causes and organisations like Extinction Rebellion, people, especially ones in the public eye, want to cry hypocrite. Look at him, he's wearing clothes. He's wearing clothes and he's pretending to care about the environment.
The clothes that you're wearing owe their existence to oil.
You've got a nice wooden thing behind you. What's that made of?
Oh, Piers, don't do this. You did this to Skeena about TVs.
Just ask you a question. What's it made of?
You're going to be called a hypocrite because you live in the modern world rather than in a piece of Hessian sacking, I think as George Monbiot once said, in a ditch. Unless you do that, no one will believe you can. Of course, if you do that, they'll think you're just a weirdo. But the fact is, reasonable people, I think, understand that something has to be done about fossil fuels, most of all, about our insatiable appetite for them.
We are on a fast track to climate disaster. Major cities underwater, unprecedented heat waves, terrifying storms, widespread water shortages, the extinction of 1 million species of plants and animals. And this is not fiction or exaggeration. It is what science tells us will result from our current energy policies.
We should remind ourselves why fossil fuels are painted as the bandits in this particular episode.
These gasoline molecules are untamed and unruly.
Well, you can't, in our world, burn fossil fuels without producing carbon dioxide, which flies up into the atmosphere and acts as a barrier, stopping heat, infrared and other things getting out and dissipating in space, and therefore creating what's known as a greenhouse effect. Because like a greenhouse, which is glass, it keeps the heat trapped in, and so the climate goes up. And when the climate goes up even by the smallest amount, it affects everything. We live in a very balanced kind of world. Over hundreds of millions, thousands of millions really, of years, this planet has established its balance that allows for the life it has now. Of course, if it goes and we don't do anything about it, it will start again and some other forms of life will be able to thrive, but not humans and not mammals and not most of the creatures and landscapes that we know and love will be wiped out. And it will be our fault because we're the ones who burn the fossil fuels. And our whole society and way of life is based on what we call a carbon economy, really, because our cars and our power, our fuel, the things we use to make everything, even if something like this pullover, which is made from a sheep's wool, but the electricity and the effort and the transport and the whole thing is based on carbon fuels. And who are we to deny it, especially to developing countries, you might say?
So great is our demand that we're looking for new energy in places once considered sacrosanct.
We're looking for underexplored areas in the world with the potential for large discoveries of oil and gas. And Namibia came out very high on that list. We took a license for that area, and now we're moving ahead to explore it.
And that's my point. We have to talk about this, and we have to plan. It's no good just saying everybody give up carbon use, because we can't. Ultimately, it's up to governments.
I apologise for the way this process has unfolded. It's also vital that we protect this package.
You need to get them to recognise that this is the most serious crisis that humanity has ever faced, and that therefore we should plan. We should plan in a friendly way, a way that involves all of humanity as brothers and sisters together. And I know this sounds naive, and I know that recent history shows that apparently we don't regard each other as brothers and sisters, and we've never shown greater animosity. But it is possible, and deep down inside us, we know that that's what we want. I've got godchildren and I've got nephews and nieces, and I care about the world they're going to live in. And it strikes me as obscene. Not that they're going to have a lower standard of living and a harder time buying houses, because all that's bad enough. But that the very fabric and structure and feel of the world will be awful for them unless we start to take steps, real steps. And they're the ones who are leading us to taking those steps. And they're doing it in a very impressive way, I think. It's loud and it's disruptive. We should stop and think about the word disruption for a moment. Do you remember when Facebook started? Zuckerberg said, move fast and break things. Break things is Anglo-Saxon for disruption. Disruption just means breaking. Disruption can be an awful thing. It can ruin the way the world is. But there's another form of disruption, which is to stop the world going down the wrong path, to disrupt a destructive journey. And that's what Extinction Rebellion, for example, does. And of course it's maddening. Who wants to be stuck in a traffic jam, not being able to cross a bridge, not being able to use a motorway, not being able to get home for this holiday or to see their family, or all kinds of legitimate and utterly reasonable excuses for being maddened by Extinction Rebellion. Just put yourselves 10 or 15 years in the future and look around a ruined landscape where there's violence and unpleasantness and instability and a kind of Mad Max horror threatening. And then say, damn, it was a nuisance when I couldn't cross that bridge. The fact is, you sometimes have to sacrifice the present to save the future. And all that's being asked to sacrifice is some of the conveniences that will never exist if we don't act now. I don't suppose that what I've said is likely to change the mind of somebody who finds Extinction Rebellion maddening, but maybe it might just encourage some people who aren't sure whether or not this is the right direction of travel, this kind of disruption, this kind of fury. I would suggest it is, and I'm an old man whose time is past, but you are likely statistically to be younger than me, so you've got more at stake and you've probably got more energy and sense too. So bless you and good luck.